Connie and her husband Joe, who came in from Arizona. My nephew Phil and his fiance Jessica, who came in from Philadelphia. Thank you to my daughter's longtime friend Danielle, who came in from Dubai. Yes, I said Dubai.
That's as far as you can go, right?
Thank you to Mac's longtime friend Hannah, who came in from Sweden. Yes, I said Sweden. Thank you to my niece Jennifer, who came in from Tennessee, and her gorgeous baby. I met for the first time last night. Thank you to Megan's friend Martha, law school friend Martha, who came in from St. Louis. And I'd like to acknowledge Megan's very special friend that she has known for 20 years, maybe 21, 22 years, who came in from Connecticut. And she is Megan's maid of honor. I've known her for a long time, and I really appreciate her friendship with Megan, and I'd like to also acknowledge her. Okay. Also, I'm cognizant of many people on Jake's side of the family that have come in from out of town. I don't know exactly who they are or where they're from, but thank you anyway.
Joliet.
The presence of all of these people is a testament to Meg and Jake as people. Thanks again. Liz and I will remember your dedication. Those that know Megan know that she is a fiercely independent young lady. Although I recognize that independence as a virtue today, that was not always the case, particularly when she was a teenager.
Spoken like a parent.
Megan is also a strong advocate for animal rights who practices what she preaches. She hasn't eaten meat in about 15 or 16 years. She is a compassionate and genuine young lady. She is our pride and joy. Liz and I love her more than we can describe. As you can imagine, daughters beginning to date is nothing for a dad to look forward to. Those young men, when Megan began dating, were subjected to intense scrutiny. Without admitting anything, some of them might have actually been followed. Then came Jake, and my daddy instincts kicked in almost immediately. This is a bright, compassionate, self-confident young man with a heart of gold. Liz and I recognized early on that this was the one. We were hopeful that he would be the one, and here we are. Having met Jake's grandparents last night for the first time, I can understand where Jake gets his character from. Jake's family is very dedicated to each other. They love being together. They function as a family, and that is a virtue that Jake brings into our family that I would hope to continue. Jake shares Megan's compassion for animals. I recall Megan discovered online a beautiful blonde lab mix that was scheduled to be put down. The following day, the dog was put down the following day in Ohio. The dog wasn't, Meg contacted them and then asked them to hold on to me for a couple of days. They refused. Jake came to the rescue. He drove to Ohio 7 hours one way and rescued the dog. About 3 weeks later, Meg discovered a brown lab that was also going to be euthanized. Meg and Jake drove back out to Ohio, and this time came back with a Jeep load of dogs. 3 of them. They are soulmates.
2 are at my house right now.
Share the same values and love of life. They complement each other. There's a profound love, mutual respect, and friendship between the 2 of them. Thank you, Deb and Dan, for the gift of Jake. He is an outstanding young man. He gives a dad and mom peace of mind. Finally, I have a little story that kind of exemplifies my feelings. Megan may or may not remember this. I'm guessing she doesn't. When she was about 21, Megan had a job downtown at a consulting firm. It was a summer job for her, but it was downtown, which was a problem. And she had to stay down, and she would stay downtown to visit friends oftentimes after work. She would park her car at the metro station and would come back and forth often on the train. Come home later on the train. She would always contact me and let me know which train she would be on. She was diligent. Well, I got her a phone. She didn't call me. She lost the phone. She lost the car. But anyway, she continued to call me. What she didn't know is that I would get in my car often at midnight and drive to the train station, park my car where she couldn't see it, and watch her safely walk the 300 feet to her car. I would then hurry home and get back to bed, hoping that she hadn't seen me. I tell you this story because Megan is not skipping a beat. She's going from a mom and dad who unconditionally love, cherish, respect, and would do anything in the world for her, to a husband who will do exactly the same. This is as good as it gets. At this time, I would like to propose a toast to Megan and Jake for a long, happy life and the best that this world can give them.
As long as you don't sing.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to turn things over to our matron of honor, Kristen Nelson. Let's show her a little encouragement, please.
Huh?
Let's hear for our matron of honor.
No, don't. That didn't work out.
I'm really nervous, so I'm going to read from the paper. Megan and I met in first grade. We've been friends a few years less than that. We both attended St. Mary's grade school, and while I do not remember the exact moment that I met Megan, apparently she remembers when she met me. Because I switched from public school after the start of the school year, my uniform wasn't ready, and so for a whole week I got to wear my own dresses while she had to wear her uniform. Pretty much held this against me ever since. Luckily, she was able to move past it a little, and I gradually befriended the weird girl in the tie-dye Volkswagen t-shirt who composed songs about vegetables. And don't worry, I've already requested building a broccoli from the DJ. We went our separate ways in high school, but we always kept in touch. Somehow we both ended up at the University of Iowa. After living together and going on several very memorable vacations, our friendship managed to survive. And I'm so happy it did. Sorry. Not only has Megan been there for me in the good times, but more importantly, she's been there for me in the bad. Jake, you are so lucky to have Megan as your best friend for life. You couldn't find a more loyal and caring friend. Megan, you are also lucky to have Jake. Smart, handsome, if you're into the beard thing. I'm kidding. Also a fellow cockpit, and always happy to help me with my computer and electronic device problems. He's quite the catch. Most importantly though, he loves Megan more than anything in the world. Many might say it's easy to love someone as smart and beautiful as she is, but not everyone has been witness to her incredibly disturbing belches, her brutal honesty, or her sometimes questionable hygiene. I'm just kidding. The thing of it is, though, that Jake loves Megan because of these things, and not despite them. Marriage isn't easy, but there is something to be said about having someone there who knows every little inch of you, who puts up with your annoying habits, lets you vent when you're in a bad mood, gives you space when you need it, cheers you up when you're ready, and at the end of the day still loves you just as much as he did in the morning. Nobody's perfect, but falling in love and getting married means you have found the person that in your eyes is pretty darn close. Megan and Jake have been lucky enough to have found that in each other. Megan and Jake love you both, and I wish you nothing but a lifetime of happiness.
Hey.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to turn things over to our best man, Jason Williams.
Best euchre player I know.
All right, so some money, you know, I've known Jake for basically ever since first grade. We met in Miss Luna's class, and we basically just stayed friends through everything, even though a lot of times, you know, we didn't go on the same path. We seem like we've always been friends, always will be friends. I don't think there's anything Jake can do that would make me not want to be friends with him anymore. Well, maybe some stuff. So I started thinking about some stories of things that, you know, that happened to us when we were younger, and I thought about some, you know, a couple ones that I want to talk about. So first of all, I want to talk about the G.I. Joe thing. Now Jake told this at my wedding. I don't know why, because it's mostly embarrassing to him. It's not embarrassing to me. But I think this was the first time we had a sleepover. Yeah, it was one of the first times that we had a sleepover together, and Jake came over and we were playing G.I. Joes. Now, me and Jake, we probably together had like every G.I. Joe, tank, everything that they ever made. And so Jake was winning the battle. So I pulled out a Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator figurine. It was probably about 3 times the size of a G.I. Joe. And I don't know if you know this, but Jake is pretty gullible. So I told him that this Terminator was invincible, and I started knocking all the stuff over, flipping his tanks over. Well, next thing you know, he's crying, and we're calling his mom to come pick him up, and I don't think he slept over for a while after that. So I was thinking about it a little bit later. I believe it was 4th or 5th grade. We were in Mrs. Duda's class. She had to be the worst teacher we ever had.
For sure.
We were doing a project on hearts, and so me and Jake, we decided we were going to bring a heart into class. So we go to CP Meat, which is the meat market in Lennox, and it's me, him, and my mom, and we asked the guy at the counter, you know, we need a cow heart, and you wouldn't believe the look that he gave us. So he actually got us a cow heart, and then we go to Walgreens and we tell them that we need formaldehyde. And we basically got the same look that we got at CPB when we asked for a cow heart. And so, you know, we bring it home, bring the cow heart home, we're cutting this thing in half on my kitchen table. We got bags on it, so it probably looked like a murder scene or something. And I remember she gave us a beat. You know, all that work for a beat. But so, you know, later on, you know, we started driving, and I remember that was great, because I used to spend a lot of time over at Jake's house. They actually probably thought I was part of the family and something, because I was there so much. But, and a little bit later on, I remember I bought a Camaro, and I was taking the transmission out, and I asked Jake to help me. So Jake comes over to help me with this transmission. We start taking it out, and so I had him, he was prying the engine and transmission apart, and I was reaching in to grab a bolt. And I said, you got it? Yeah, I got it. He drops it on my finger. So I'm sticking there, you know, my finger's stuck between the transmission and engine, and I'm screaming, you know, Brian, open! And he's just got this weird look on his face, and he's just sitting there not doing anything. Eventually, after part of my fingernail was gone. And then I started thinking about it a little bit later. I thought about the first time I met Megan. I remember it was a horrible ice storm, and I was driving out to Iowa, and I remember Joel was there, and Dave, and some of our other friends, and it was taking me forever to get there, and I got him to call me, you know, where are you, where are you? And my wife's called me, she turned around and come home, and I finally got there, and I remember that's the first time I met her. And one of the groupsmen was hitting on her. I'm not going to say which one. You guys can try to figure that out if you want. It should be pretty easy. So I remember that night he was talking about Megan. I know this is the first time they had seen each other in a long time, and you know, he was talking about her, and then it just seemed like they had been together ever since. And I know just the way they are together, the way they interact together, I know they'll be together for a long time, and I know that their personalities just complement each other so well. And so I just wish you guys all the best, and everybody raise your glass for a toast. Thanks.
A little more like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, with all that said, let's eat it.
All right.